Okay, I'm Zane Holmes, 2004 Australian Ironman champion. Okay, well the board is a bit different to the ski in the sense that it is more of a personal thing. It's shaped to your body weight and size and preference. So with things like the thickness of the board and also the width, that corresponds to how heavy you are and I guess how big you are, whether you've got wide shoulders and stuff like that. Also the knee wells. On my board here I do have some nice deep knee wells. I find that's very important because you get down in the board a lot more and it makes it more stable because your centre of gravity is lower. With the knee pads here, they're obviously used to kneel on, and I tend to put the wax either front and back of the knee pads. The knee pads themselves do provide some grip when you're laying down and kneeling up, but you need wax at the back if you need to move back on your board, going out to pop over a wave or coming in on a wave. So you don't nosedive. You need wax back here so you can move back and not slip off. And the wax up here, I use it mainly just for laying down. If you've got to pop up over a wave laying down, and you're not going to slide all over the place when you lay back down. With this carry handle here, it's very useful for a fast finish. If you've got a sprint finish in a race, you don't have to reach right up here. You've got a chance then of missing the handle because you really can't hang on to that while you're still kneeling. So this one, I can still hang on to that as I'm kneeling down. So before you even get off and running, you can have your hand on that, and it's much easier and makes it very fast finish for you. With the carry handles, with this finish handle here, that's I guess the side you put that on determines whether you're left or right-handed. Myself, I'm left-handed. I pick that up in my left hand, so it's got to be on the right-hand side of the board over here, and obviously the opposite if you carry with your right hand. With this carry handle here in the rail of the board, I use it just for carrying the board around, but a lot of people use these for starting, and you can either lock your thumb into it like that so you've got more grip, or some of the smaller people can use it as an actual hand grip as well. Personally, I actually put my whole hand around the board, my fingers underneath past that groove, but as I say, if you're smaller and you feel that it gives you better grip, then by all means that's the way to go.
Okay, so I'm usually wax the board right back to as far as you can down here. Having this section waxed is always important when you're moving back on the board. Even if you're on your knees, you've got something to grip onto. Going out, popping over waves, you're sitting back on this section here, so you don't want to be slipping off and having trouble gripping with your legs. So wax is important here up the front of the board. In big conditions, when you happen to lay down, either going out through the surf or coming in, it's always good to get a bit of grip on with your chest here, maintain control of the board, so that's always important. I mean, when you're sort of paddling aggressively, it's easy to slide all over the board, and you want to maintain sort of secure contact with the board so that you can get the most out of your stroke.
Now let's have a look at how a board is manufactured at the Dolphin factory. Hayden Lewis is going to show us around.
We make two different boards, one for a guy and one for a girl, okay, because we're all different shapes and sizes and all that sort of thing. You've got to get that balance between, I suppose, flotation, okay, whilst it not being too big, and when waves are coming through, you're getting popped. It's all about different shapes, different sizes, and the weight factor. So for the girls, for them to be able to pop over the waves and sink the tail of the board and all that sort of thing, we've just found through our I suppose experience that by taking that little bit of volume out of the tail, they're able to pop those waves a lot easier, and that means they're getting out faster. Not just the case of it's important getting the right volume for the right weight of the competitor, but also with the surf life saving specifications, the board has to be a minimum weight of 7.6 kilos. Yeah, we have no boards in the shop or in the factory that aren't custom made. Okay, so it's all about balancing that skill level with the board size and the shape of the board. All the boards come up here, all the foam. The performance racing board foam is a Coolite foam, so it's extremely light. But with that lightness also comes, I suppose, a durability issue. Basically starts its life on a racing board, it just comes in as a blank block of foam. Once the boards come in, they're put into a profile which gives the basic rocker of the board, and the basic volume of the board's cut out. You've got a basic rocker of the board, okay, and you've got the whirl, and you've got the basic volume. From there you can see that the structure of the board, all the rails and all of that are drawn out. All the boards, they're all hand shaped, okay? So we don't use any machine shaping at all, because at the end of the day, I think you're going to end up with, by continually hand shaping a board, you get to keep the feel of the board. And this is our laminating room. As you can see with the boards, the base colour of the board's actually put in as a pigment into the epoxy resin, okay? Once the board's been laminated, okay, and with the epoxy glass, okay, it's then finned and filled. This is when the board gets sanded again, and then that's when the board comes back to this level here, which is ready for the artwork to be completed. This is for the twisted brothers, twisted little kids out there. So what we suggest is put your board in a bag like this. Well, then obviously the life of the board's going to be extended considerably. Yeah.